So as of late, the Washington Wizards have been on an absolute tear, as they have gone 8-1 in their last 9 games, and now that they're healthy, they have just been a way better team. For most of the season, the Wizards were ranked 11th or 12th in the East, but they are now officially the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference, and that means they now actually have a chance to make the playoffs. And although the odds aren't in their favor at all, I actually believe the Washington Wizards will make the playoffs this season. So in today's video, I'll be giving some reasons to why I believe the Washington Wizards will make the playoffs. Before we get into the video, I ask you to drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want weekly NBA content and to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. And comment on this video, start a conversation with me as I respond to all of my comments. And play that intro. The first reason I believe the Washington Wizards will make the playoffs is because, as I previously said, Washington is currently the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference, and in any season, that wouldn't be good enough to make the postseason, but not this one, since this season there's a playoff tournament that allows the 9th and 10th seed to get a chance to make the postseason. The way it works is the 7th seed and the 10th seed will face each other, and the 7th seed only needs to win one of the 2 games, and the 9th seed needs to win 2 games in a row to make the postseason, and the 8th seed and the 9th seed will face, and the 8th seed only needs to win 1 game, and the 9th seed needs to win 2 in a row. So it's clear if Washington can hold on to their 10th place spot, they can realistically make the playoffs, because it's not impossible to think that they could win 2 games in a row against the bottom tier playoff teams in the East. I doubt the Wizards will go any higher than the 10th seed, since they are 2 games behind the Pacers for the 9th seed, and they're 4 games behind the Hornets for the 8th seed. So it's safe to say they need to stay focused on getting the 10th seed and keeping the 10th seed away from teams like Toronto Raptors, who are only half a game back behind them, and the Chicago Bulls, who aren't too far behind. But they really need to worry about the Raptors, who have been playing way better as of late, as they're currently on a 4-game win streak. So I feel like the Raptors could deter their plans, which I wouldn't really complain about since I am a Raptor fan, but I don't think they will steal the 10th spot because it seems like Toronto's focused on tanking right now. And I know even if the Wizards make the playoff tournament, the odds are still not going to be in their favor, since they will have to win 2 games in a row against a team with a better record than them. But if we're being honest, the Wizards would have been a higher seed if they hadn't struggled with injuries this season. Russ has missed 7 games, Beal has missed 9 games, Rui Hachimura has missed 11 games, Davis Bertans has missed 16 games, and so much has their other teammates. They've just been struggling with injuries a lot. So I honestly don't think Washington is this bad, and if they were a bit more healthy this season, they would have been maybe an 8th seed. And when you look at the potential teams that they will probably face in the playoff tournament, it doesn't look too scary, and I think they could legitimately beat the 8th seed 2 times in a row, because they're most likely going to face either the Hawks, Celtics, Heat, or the Hornets. Although the Hawks are the 5th seed right now, they're only 3 games away from the 8th seed, and Trae Young just got injured, and it looks as if he's going to miss a significant amount of time. So I think it's possible to expect them to drop, and if I do, I honestly could see Washington beating them twice. The Celtics are 2.5 games away from the 8th seed, but there's still a chance that they will fall. I think this is a team the Wizards should not want to face, because this is a roster that was just in the Eastern Conference Finals last season, and I don't think the Wizards would beat them 2 times in a row, but luckily for them, it's unlikely they'll face the Celtics. The Miami Heat are currently the 7th seed, and they're 2 games away from being the 8th seed, but it's still a chance. Washington will have to face them, and honestly, I don't think the Wizards should want to face them either, since they also are a way better team than the Wizards, and they're just a way better team than what their record has been showing. But the team who is actually an 8th seed right now is the Charlotte Hornets, and I think that's exactly who the Wizards should want to verse. And I think that I would actually predict the Wizards to beat the Hornets 2 times in a row, since they are a younger team with playoff experience, and their best player in Gordon Hayward might be still injured by then. So if they can get the Hornets in the tournament, I think the Wizards can absolutely make the playoffs. The second reason I think the Washington Wizards will make the playoffs is the fact that in the Wizards' next 13 games, they have to face some pretty weak teams. And if the Wizards can end their season off on a high note, they definitely can secure that 10th seed. In their upcoming schedule, they'll be facing teams like the Thunder, the Cavs 3 times, the Spurs, Lakers, Mavericks, Indiana Pacers 2 times, Bucks, Raptors, Hawks 2 times, and the Hornets. The only games I think they will for sure lose is against the Lakers and the Bucks. They definitely will beat the Thunder and the Cavs 3 times. I think they will at least win 1 out of the 2 games against the Pacers and the Hawks. And I think they could defeat the Hornets or the Raptors. So I see them walking away with a 9-5 record or an 8-6 record to end the season, which isn't like amazing or anything, but that is good enough to secure the 10th seed. They just got to stay above 500 in these next few games, and I think they got it. The third reason I believe the Washington Wizards will make the playoffs is the fact that the Wizards have a duo of Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal, which is a top 5 backcourt in the league. And neither of them are necessarily top 10 players in the league, but they're both good enough to where they can elevate their play and play like a top 10 player. Since as everyone knows, except the haters of course, Russell Westbrook has been great this season, and he's arguably been the biggest reason to why the Wizards are the 10th seed right now, as Russ has been averaging 21 points, 11 assists, and 11 rebounds while shooting 43% from the field. He's been absolutely dominating this season, and I do think if he's asked to turn up his play and play his best basketball these next 13 games and in the playoff tournament, he could do just that, as he already started to do that in his last 10 games. As in his last 10 games, he's been averaging 21 points and 12 assists and 14 rebounds while shooting 44% from the field. So I honestly think he will push them into the postseason. The second part of the Wizards backcourt and the best player on this team is Bradley Beal, who will also need to be great for the Wizards to make the playoffs. And I think he will elevate his game. Since this season, he's been averaging 31 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists while shooting 48% from the field. So I doubt that his production would decrease. And in my opinion, when you have 2 great talents like this, I wouldn't bet against them. In the playoff tournament, it will come down to just 2 games. And in those games, anything can happen for both teams. A player on the opposing team can randomly go off for 40 points, and Bradley Beal can randomly go off for 50 points. But I honestly think it's more likely that Russ and Beal go off in those 2 games rather than the opposing teams. So their biggest reason to make the postseason has to be this duo, and I think if they face the Hornets, they definitely will win. To conclude the video, I honestly do believe the Washington Wizards will make the playoffs, mainly because with the way they've been playing, I just can't see them not making it. As long as in the playoff tournament they face the Hornets and not the Heat or Celtics, I predict them to make it. There's obviously a chance that they could miss it, since I do think Toronto's a better team than them, but nonetheless, I think they will. Anyways guys, that's it for the video. Let me know whether or not you think the Wizards are going to make the playoffs. Drop a like on this video to help my channel grow. Subscribe to my channel if you want weekly NBA content and to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. And comment on this video, start a conversation with me as I respond to all of my comments. And I'm out.